Everything is fucked up as usual. You lucky boy or girl, I'm going to talk about simple harmonic motion. And you can continue watching this video if you give a fuck about it. And for your benefit, I'm going to make 2 videos on it. Probably more than 2 videos. But at least this video, I'm not going to scare you with equations. All the equations will come, all the ways to solve a problem would come, but that will come in the next video. In this video, we're gonna learn what the fuck simple harmonic motion is about. Yeah, some shit like that. So let's start. Have you ever seen something doing in simple harmonic motion? Like you have spring attached to some mass M, and it does SHM is what the boys are calling it nowadays. Why don't you look at it once? And when I say look at it, observe. Did you observe? I knew you wouldn't, you fucked out. Let's watch it once again. What did you notice? See, the study of simple harmonic motion is simple as fuck. Okay. All you need to know is the story of the 3 points. This is where I'm beginning. The story of 3 points. And if you get the story, you get SHM. Alright? So let's fucking begin it. On this black screen, I'm gonna draw a spring and a mass system, and I'm gonna try to diagrammatically represent it doing a simple harmonic motion. Look at that. Round and round, like pubic hairs, and then here is some block. All right, and this is a spring. All right, for those to read out to understand this, and this is an axis I'm drawing over here. This is an axis. I love it. Okay, so this block was doing what? This block, if it is doing SHM, it goes to a place far off like this, over here. All right, and from there it comes back in the black. It goes back, and when it goes back, what happens? Yep, baby, it reaches to the same point again. And when it reaches to this point, after this, what it does? Yep, it goes to the other side. You know, day destroys the night. Night divides day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Yeah, You listen to the doors. You totally listen to the doors, man. Oh, let me draw some of these axes. And this is an axis again. Alright. And what happens now? this baby goes back. Okay, this is what is happening if you observe. Okay, there's a block over here, and this block wants to go that way, and it goes till here, it stops over here, and then it kind of goes back, stops and goes back, and when it goes back it comes over here and it is going that way, and it wanna keep going, and it keeps going and reaches here, and it again stops and goes back. Alright, so if you see in its journey, there are these three really important or interesting or whatever points we need to give fuck about because we want to write our exams. This is a point, alright, which is over here, which is over here or here, and then this is a point, and then this is a point. Alright, they look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, but basically this and this are the same points. Let me undo that for. So this point has a name, it's called the mean position. The mean position. It is so fucking mean. And this point is called, let me call it the turning point 1. Turning point 1. And let me call this as the turning point 2. And if you have not yet guessed why I'm calling it fucking turning points, you shouldn't fucking continue watching this video. Okay, this is not for dumbass people like you. Let's observe SHM one more goddamn time. Yeah, did you see that? Something was going from the mean point to the turning point 1, and then again to the mean point, then again to the turning point 2. Alright, so if some shit is trying to do an SHM, which stands for simple harmonic motion, there are 3 set of points. Alright, the mean point, turning point 1, and then turning point 2, and it keeps just going between them like for fucking ever. Now let's fucking mark those 3 points. This is my mean position, mean point, and this is my TP1, and this is my TP2. Alright, use yellow. And it was all yellow. No, this is still not yellow. And it was all yellow. Still not yellow. Look at the stars. Look how this is TP2. Okay. So if you want to actually understand SHM, you need to basically understand these 3 points. And what the fuck does this thing want to do when it is over here, and then when it comes over here, and then when it goes over here, and then again when it comes over here, and then again when it comes over here, and when it goes over here, and then again when it comes over here, and then again when it goes over here, and then again when it comes over here, and this keep on fucking happening. Okay, so we are going to see 3 things here. Alright, first is the velocity, and then we are going to see about their accelerations. And Newton said that if you know acceleration, you know the force. And then we are going to see about its energy. Alright. Okay. What about here? So this guy was like, from here this guy was like moving this way and keeps moving like there's no tomorrow, and then it comes over here and it like fucking stops here. So this is the point where shit stops. It means, what would be the velocity there? If you can't guess that, as I've told you, stop watching this fucking video. This is not for you. Velocity is 0. And then what happens? Then it keeps going that way, keeps going that way, keeps going that way. And what happens here? This is the point, the mean point, where the velocity becomes equal to the maximum velocity. This is the fastest shit can move. And by shit, I mean this block. This shit has 0 velocity over here, and this shit has maximum velocity here. And while moving, its velocity keep on increasing. So if it was this much here, it was a little more over there, it was a little more over there, and here it was a fucking big velocity. And then what happens? Then again I know that over here, the velocity is going to be 0 because it again fucking turns. So to turn it has to fucking stop. And if it stops, it has got to have a 0 fucking city. And if that happens, and if this guy already had a maximum velocity here, going that way, alright, and there, if it so happens that its velocity is 0, then what the fuck must be happening? Yes, the velocity must be like slowing down. This velocity like keeps slowing down. It has become a smaller arrow, and a smaller arrow, and a smaller arrow, and then it becomes 0 over here. And then what happens? Then again the velocity keeps increasing on the other way, and it becomes maximum again, but in the opposite direction. Alright, and then it keeps going to the other side, and the same shit would happen as it had started. Okay. So this is the velocity journey of these 3 fucked up points. Alright, let me summarize that quickly. So this is what's happening. This guy, my piece of shit, keeps going that way, and then it turns at this turning point 1, and then it keeps moving, and it keeps moving, and then again it turns at turning point 2, and it keeps moving, and the story continues. Let me color my fucking arrows. I love them. Beautiful. Alright, this is what is happening. Now what about the acceleration? Okay, let me tell you. At this point, the acceleration is the maximum, and at this point the acceleration is 0, and at this point acceleration is again the maximum. But at this point, because it stopped but then it got pulled in that direction, then I can say that acceleration is that way at this point. But at this point, because it got pulled in that direction, I can say that the acceleration is that way. Okay, and here, because the acceleration is 0, I can't say any fucking direction of acceleration. Alright, so this is what happens. So this is the story of the 3 points. Mean point, where velocity is maximum and acceleration is 0. Here the velocity is 0, but acceleration is maximum, and it is that way. And here the velocity is 0, but the acceleration is maximum, and it is that way. And this maximum velocity could be that way or this way, depending on whichever fuck the way it is going. And now what? So we have dealt with acceleration, and Newton said that dude, don't sweat too much. Newton said force is equal to mass times acceleration. So if mass is a fucking constant, then whatever is the acceleration is the fucking force. Okay, so if acceleration is max here, force must be max here, and in that direction force must be max here as well, and in that direction, and in here force, wait a second, force must be 0. Let me use Bing for that. 0. Now sometimes some people ask me that if the force here is 0, this is how they come, okay. If the force here is 0, then how the fuck are they able to go the other side? If the force here is 0, then shouldn't it stop? Those fuckers need to go back to mechanics and learn about something called as Newton's first law. That says, in absence of a force, whatever shit something wants to do, it does that. If something is moving, it keeps moving. If something is at rest, it keeps on rest. If there is no force. So force here is 0, but our block shit was already moving this way, so it will keep moving. But as it keeps moving, it finds that now there's a force in that direction, and it keeps on increasing, becomes a maximum over here. So that force kind of slows it down. Alright, but for their benefit, again, I'll tell you a couple of things. A couple of things you need to know. One is, if a particle is there and it has a velocity that side, right, it means it is moving in that direction. That is the direction in which it is moving. Okay, and if someone tells you that the acceleration is that way, that only means that this velocity would go on decreasing. That is a wrong grammar, radical statement. And if there's a particle which has velocity that way, it means it is moving that way, because velocity tells you which direction something is going. Fucking dumb fucks. And if the acceleration is this way, it means that the acceleration is not supporting the velocity, and the velocity would keep again decreasing. If velocity of something is in that direction and the acceleration is also in the same direction, then these two babies are in love. And when they are in love, velocity, so it is moving that way, and the velocity is also increasing that way because they are in sync. And if it so happens the other way around, basically whatever the direction of the velocity is, that is the direction you move. Where you move depends on velocity. How velocity changes, that depends on acceleration. Okay, now we should talk about the third thing which I said I'll tell you, which is the energy. If here the velocity is 0, what can you tell about its kinetic energy? That is going to be fucking 0, you pissant. Here also it is going to be 0, and here the kinetic energy is going to be maximum. So if kinetic energy is 0 here and kinetic energy is maximum here, right, from where the fuck is this thing getting energy? Yeah, that's right. If kinetic energy is 0 here, it still has got some potential energy. Okay, and I'm not gonna tell you the value of that. And potential energy is maximum right now over here, and it's also right now maximum over here, and potential energy is 0 over here. Okay, this was the story of the 3 points. Mean point has 0 force, maximum velocity, maximum kinetic energy, 0 acceleration. Turning point 1 has 0 velocity, 0 kinetic energy, maximum potential energy, maximum acceleration but that way, and so maximum force but that way. And this point has 0 velocity, maximum acceleration, maximum force, 0 kinetic energy, maximum potential energy, and whatnot. So this was some basic idea about simple harmonic motion which we have learned. And if you want to understand its mathematics, go read a fucking book